The first major patch for Hytale has dropped just yesterday, and this is late news. I'm a little late to making this video. So if you have been playing Hytale, you've been keeping up to date with everything, you've already seen a video on this, you've already read the patch notes, then please go ahead and shut the video down. You're not going to be finding out anything new in this video. I'm just going to be going through the patch notes and discussing some things. Maybe you didn't know it worked like this, and now it's how it's going to work like this, whatever it is. So my typical fashion of upfronting the knowledge of my videos, let me give you the two big standout things from this patch. The first one is that dinosaurs are now in the underground jungle. Choked my words there. In the underground jungles, they've populated into the game. So dinosaurs are now in the game. There are other things as well, but the biggest other thing is crafting benches now pull materials from chests within 14 blocks horizontally and 6 blocks vertically. This is up from 7 and 4 respectively. So that is a huge improvement because you can now have one storage chest to hit a lot more crafting stations and not have to make crafting stations closest to storage chests or so many chests around those stations. So that's the too long didn't watch this entire video. I'm going to go through the rest of these patch notes. I'm going to highlight them with the green things that have been positively changed, red things that have been negatively changed, or like something that I really want to highlight will be in a different color. But that's the too long didn't watch here. So if that's all you want to know, please feel free to shut the video down. I want to be respectful of your time. You can navigate forward to any part of the video that interests you the most using the chapters with the timeline in the description. And if you are heading out, please don't forget to like, comment, or subscribe, as each one of those things, it helps me out just in a huge way. You can also check me out on Twitch, linked below, where I stream this game, and I'll be streaming Neo 3, and oh man, just so many more this year. There's so many games in 2026. But let's get started here on the first major patch for Hytale. So just jumping into the patch notes. If you just want to look at the patch notes, they're in the description. They're on the launcher too. I figure everyone has very quick access to this, but if you want to just read it yourself, go ahead. Like I said, I'm going to just be reading through these. So the biggest thing here is, well, you know, let me highlight this. We are committed to maintaining a rapid patching cadence to address issues and improve the game as quickly as possible. I've covered tons of games in early access. Some games have really awesome rapid fire early access patch, weekly bombs that are just so strong. Some take months, some take 1 month. It just is, we're going to have to feel how cadence, or what the cadence of Hytale's update is going to feel like. Right now, though, I like that this patch is focused on a lot of quality of life improvements based off of community feedback, namely, of course, that discussion about your crafting stations and the storage shelves. That people were putting that into a mod. Like, that's the only mod I was going to push out to people. Like, hey, get this mod because it sucks. This is a thing. I thought originally it was a bug situation, but I didn't realize that it was just working in a limited radius. So world and environment, let's get into that. Added dinosaurs and other NPCs to populate the underground jungles. They currently use placeholder behaviors and are a work in progress. So what they mean by placeholder behaviors is they're probably going to use something like, oh, we'll use this defensive creature's behavior or this aggressive creature's behavior. An example of that would be a fox versus, say, a grizzly bear, which foxes have also gotten changed. So we'll talk about that in a bit. But further, these new NPCs required to change the environment in the biome, so you will need to generate new unexplored areas to see them. So what does that mean? The game does not render it in its entirety the second you load into the game. An example of a pre-rendered game that you play would be Minecraft. You boot up a Minecraft server and it is all rendered. There might be portions of it that are not, but the way that this game works is it pre-renders, I think, one viewable tile, let's just say, because you view in a circle, in a big circle right on your map. You only generate a certain portion of that at a time. So I'm not sure how this works with persistent servers, but I think it just it generates only what people have seen. So you would need to keep going and go a whole new unexplored area to get these NPCs to populate. Maybe you can shut down the server and reboot the server if you're running a persistent one, and that can do it. I'm not sure. There might be ways to force respawns, stuff like that, but there needs to be triggers for those, and I think you just need to build them into the game through unexplored areas. Devastated land sewers now have proper atmospheric effects and creature spawns, because before devastated lands, you go into the sewers and they're just empty. So now they'll be properly populated. Areas beneath volcanoes now use volcanic environmental effects and fixed entity placement textures in interiors and Fair villages. So some cool, just quality of life things, makes the world feel alive with actual stuff in it in certain locations that otherwise was sparse or non-existent. So NPCs and creatures have big breath, man. I took too much caffeine. You know, sometimes you get that like shallow breathing with caffeine. You're like, I need to drink some more goddamn water right now. So here's where I'm at. Added knockback resistance to NPCs that previously did not have it, which is good, because right now you could really shield bash your way to victory. Anything that's hard that attacks you, you shield bash it, it stuns it, you can swipe twice and then shield bash again. So this allows you to actually get involved in the combat system rather than just cheesing through repeated shield bashes. Fire-themed NPCs and creatures should now be immune to fire damage. However, they'll still catch on fire for now. So there seems to be some sort of relationship with that they just haven't fixed, or it will have something in the future, who knows. But cautious wildlife predators, such as the fox, should no longer engage players unless attacked, which is good. That fits into the defensive posture they're supposed to have, meaning they're not going to attack you unless you attack them. They'll alert you that they see you, but that's about it. Now, this is probably the biggest section. I didn't talk about this in the beginning, but these first notes are huge. The backpack and its upgrades are now easier to obtain. Base backpack now requires a tier 1 workbench, it used to be 2, and the cost is reduced to 8 medium leather, down from 16. Now, if you've just started the game, you know how medium leather can be a real pain in the ass until you start to delve deep into the mines or you start to go into different biomes. It's really easy to get light leather, but 16 medium leather was really a big pain. So it's nice to see that that's been brought back, because there are certain things that are gated in the game until you unlock both your memories and the backpack. So nice that's been fixed. Upgrading the backpack for the first time now requires a tier 2 workbench, down from 3, and light, medium, and heavy hide now takes 10 less seconds to process into leather. It was taking a long time to process stacks of medium or heavy. Light wasn't that bad, but medium or heavy was taking a long time. So let's just say you got the 16 medium. It was taking you, like, I'm using hyperbole here, but like 10 minutes to do all 16. Now that's like 5 minutes. I don't know. It's a far less time. You won't feel like you're like, oh man, I'm waiting for this damn leather to refine. But the biggest thing, of course, here is crafting benches now pull materials from chests within 14 blocks horizontally being, you know, the X, and up from 7 and 6 blocks vertically. You know, Y. Did I get that right? XY quadrants? When's the last time I used one of those? Oh, whoops. But either way, I always think of like horizontally like the horizon. So it's like the horizon line versus vertically is just above you. Torches and other handheld light sources can now be placed on the ground when equipped in the utility slot while wielding a pickaxe or a hatchet. Previously, this would just throw them. So now you can actually place them on the ground and use them as light sources versus throwing it, and it's not a light source when it's in that like pick-upable state. You know what I mean? You know, the more I ramble, the more it's like, this guy, maybe he shouldn't have a YouTube channel. Wood logs now display their respective wood type. Example, oak log will display hardwood in its tooltip. So why I like this is there are various amounts of wood in the game. You've got birch, you've got oak, you've got everything, right? Well, some of them are crude, some of them are hardwood, some of them are their own proprietary wood, some of them will be hardwood, but then will go into a proprietary wood once made into a plank. So it's nice that we get this context clue for the tooltip to let me know, hey, oak log is hardwood. Cool, I was making hardwood furniture. This will play well. I didn't want to make crude. This is crude. Like there's I think it's aspen and birch are very similar, but one's hardwood, one's crude. I might have gotten the names mixed up there, but there are some woods that look very similar, and it was hard for me to initially identify them because, you know, again, we've already talked about my mental capacity of that of a sticker. But moving on, woodcutter's block no longer displays as dev item quality and no longer has its unused processing bench interaction. It is now a decorative furniture block that can be also crafted in the furniture bench, which is unfortunate because I thought it would have been really cool if this was going to have a future integration to just throw logs in there to make sticks. I don't know why. I would just figured at the time I was using lots of sticks to make fuel, and I didn't realize I could just use the logs. But I thought this was going to have some sort of integration, or maybe you could just use it to make planks or something just automatically as its own storage thing and just does some sort of auto queuing, even though transitioning something from a log to a plank is as simple as pressing 2 buttons, right? So I don't know. I thought this was going to have a bigger integration, but it is a cool decorative piece nonetheless. Audio and visual effects, new hit and break sounds for stone, new hit and break sounds for ores with additional layered effects. Horses now properly play running sounds while mounted, and torch burn loop replaced with a softer ambient sound, which I already thought was beautifully cathartic and therapeutic. So I'm glad that that's even better. A new particle effect now appears above an NPC's head when absorbing their memory. Why I like this is previously, you know, you run through an area that maybe you've never been before, and you get like, you know, the little sprites that come towards you because you just absorbed a memory. Sometimes I didn't know what I absorbed unless I quickly looked at what it was, or I jumped into the inventory and you can press the memory button and it shows you the last things that you just absorbed memory-wise. This will be just nice to see it twinkle above their head and like, okay, cool, that's what I just got. I won't have to go get antelopes anymore or whatever it is. So UI performance and quality of life here, added an information panel explaining the memory system when interacting with the heart of AORUS for the first time. Can be viewed again by clicking on the question mark on the top left corner of the memories UI, which is good because I think it just is such an integral part of the process. And I kind of wish that they would put something in the game to really focus your character into getting those memories like immediately, because memories aren't retroactive. What I mean by that is when you boot the game up for the first time and you go to play for 3 hours, then you eventually go into that into the gateway, then you unlock your memories. All the stuff that you've encountered in that 3 hours, you have to go get memories for again, which is not hard, but it just would have been cool to have been forced into that direction, I think, I guess I'll say. Or maybe just starting at that location to then get the memories unlocked, to then just start getting my memories online. Like there's a disconnect there, and I spent so much time building and doing all this crap, and then I unlocked the memory system. I just wish it was a little bit more, I guess a little bit more put in front of me. Character customization, a bunch of new ones here. Cat eyes, demon eyes, goat eyes, reptile eyes. Goat and demon eyes, man, they're the same thing. Goats have terrifying looking eyes. New mouth options, large mouth, tiny lips, which sounds like a really funny thing to say all together without a comma. New hair color is lavender. Reworked bangs hairstyle, which I will never need because I'm a bald bearded man, and this is terrifying to me because I've never had bangs in my life. Featherbound hood is now correctly showing for the supporter edition. Some combat balances, weapon attacks should now check for line of sight. Regular burn effects now generally deal less damage, and cactus and brambles now deal the environmental damage type. Nothing really crazy there. Some commands for the server, and then some bug fixes. Nothing that stood out to me that I was really like, oh man, people need to know about this. But if you see anything in those lists that I did not touch on, please go ahead and let me know in the comment section below. But this is our first patch, and I think it's a pretty cool step forward, right? Like, it's nothing crazy. I think a lot of people haven't encountered a lot of this, and we've already started to get into the world of mods. So if you would like to see a top mods video, go ahead and let me know in the comments. I'd pretty much just list off the mods I would use. Like a perfect parry mod, I want them to add that into the game, and I'm hoping that they do. But there's already a mod for it, or there was a mod for this that they just patched in. My friend was like, hey, you download this mod, put it on the server, and then 3 hours later, we got this patch. So it's cool to see that they're listening to this kind of stuff, and I hope that they're also looking at the top mods in the community and going, okay, these are like 10 quality of life mods. Why aren't we just putting these in the game? This is such a like agile beginning portion of development. It makes sense, and it kind of seems like that's the direction they're going. So excited to see what that future holds, what future content. And it's nice to see too that we kind of have an idea of that cadence here with this first update. We'll see though if next week is a second update or how they're going to do this. Maybe it's every week, every other week. I expect these updates to slow down though, as more content density hits the game, right? Like as we start to get into more and more of these biomes being fleshed out, I wouldn't expect as frequent of a cadence of patches. But go ahead and let me know in the comment section below. How are you feeling about the game? Are you loving it? Are you hating it? What's bothering you about it? How are you feeling about this patch? Are you loving it? Are you hating it? And what do you want to see in the future for Hytale? As always, guys, thank you so much for watching here today. Have a good one and take care.